Welcome back once again. You've reached Pay Dirt. I'm your host, Brandon Herriott, aka B Dirt, with your host, Pay Saunders. What's good, Pay?
I can't call it, man. Hey, we are a few hours away from Christmas. Thank God. And I'm talking with all gods. I am tired of buying other people's shit.
We don't do too much. I'm good. It's a small family situation for me, so I'm not going to get too carried away with it. But I am remote at my childhood home, so new digs. Haven't been here before, so doing this out here on a porch. By the way, a little bit cold. Tim says, "Hey, I know that wood panel." He sure does. My father had an affection for knotty pine.
Your parents had it right. Small family. My parents, fucking jackrabbits. More gifts.
They're pretty small. And, Jess only has one brother too, so it's like, we're not big. We're not a huge family anywhere really. So we're good, man. We're good. But hey, man. I know last week we had our first push of the year, which is unusual. The Vikings were 3-point favorites and pushed, but do you know what happened after that, Pay?
I know, but for those that don't know,
that's right. We went 5-0. We finally hit a parlay, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we cashed. It was a good feeling. And I played it too, so I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I did too. I was happy.
Good stuff. 5-0 last week brings us to 37 wins for the season at 57% win percentage on our pick six. So just shy of our goal of being north of 58 for the year. For those of you who don't know, that's the cutoff being considered a professional gambler. You got to be north of 58. So that's what we're trying to get to on this pick six. So here we are, another week, and we're going to get into just jump right into college football, I suppose. We just get right into the show. We're going to try to keep it short and sweet. We're going to respect your time, since everybody,
no blow.
Everybody's out here. Everybody's out here for Christmas. You know what I mean, and celebrating the holidays and doing other stuff. So we don't want to take up too much of the time. Now, Pay, we talked about it backstage. You dabbling a little bit in some of these bowl games. But for the sake of the pick six, I don't know who's playing. I don't know who's not. Living in Pittsburgh, I saw a kicker enter the portal for Pittsburgh last week. So I don't even know what's going on, man. So I'm still surprised that kickers are football players and still a football team, and now they're in the portal. I don't know.
I thought you had to be a football player to transfer, but hey, you learn new things every day, right? That's a good day for me. Yeah, so in respect for betting, not because we don't want to be degenerates. We don't want to just bet on games that can go either way because of crazy end of season, who's in, who's out type of nonsense. We're going to keep this to the games that actually matter, and that's the college football playoffs. And B, I think we agree with the first game on the list. That is Georgia versus Ole Miss. How do you feel about that one?
I don't know, man. So this is the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss is plus 6.5. I don't know, man. I feel like the Ole Miss has played well. They're coming together. We saw last year some of these teams that had a bye came out rusty afterwards. I kind of feel like this is going to be a 3 or 4 point game. I wouldn't be surprised either team wins, but I think Ole Miss keeps it within 6.5, man. I really do. What are your thoughts on it?
my first thought is I'm looking at the Hawaii Bowl on our screen. We want to get to that Sugar Bowl, but for
Oh,
me,
oh yeah, it's mine, isn't it? Let me go ahead and
for
get to that.
for
Bam.
me, the Sugar Bowl between Ole Miss and Georgia. Ole Miss is 6.5 point dog. The total is 56.5. You think this game is going to be closer? I think Georgia wins this game by a tutty, at least a tutty. I think Kirby Smart is one of the better coaches in the nation. Not Signetti conversation, but Smart is one of the better guys, especially during this time of year. And you give Kirby Smart enough time to prepare for your squad, and his team is healthy, mostly healthy. I want to favor him and towards a traditional line. 7.5. Ole Miss was lucky to win the last game they played. Now they stepped up the weight class. Shout out to Jake Paul and versus Anthony Joshua. When you start stumbling against the big dogs, certain things don't go your way, and it's not going to go. I don't think it's going to go too well for Ole Miss. I'm taking Georgia on this one, my friend.
Man. I'm even thinking about. I even think the money line at 2-1's in play here for Ole Miss. I just haven't been that impressed with Georgia. They played one good game against Bama. They also got beat by them at home.
When was that one good game?
The last one. It is. It is the last one for sure. I don't know, man. I think we might be too far at odds. I'll let you put the Georgia one on here. I don't feel as strongly about it as you do. So we'll put it on. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, we don't want to start the holidays with a disagreement, man. But that's just where we are right there. But maybe we can get back on good graces with each other. Talking about the Cotton Bowl, Miami versus Ohio State. Now, Ohio State might be the best team in the nation. I think it's another Big Ten team, but opposites attract. We can disagree on that one. Miami is a 9.5 point dog. At one point, a lot of people thought Miami was the best team in the nation. The total is 42.5. Should Miami be that big of an underdog to Ohio State? There be.
Man, I watched the entirety of both Miami, Texas A&M, and Ohio State, Indiana. Both low-scoring games. Both teams struggle to get points on the board. Miami's kicker unusually missed a couple kicks, but the big difference here is I watched Ohio State. I watched their offensive line get beat up by Indiana. And if I look at the Indiana defensive line and I compare it to the Miami defensive line, it's no contest. And then if I look at the Indiana offensive line versus the Miami offensive line, I also tend to think Miami's offensive line is better. So the trenches here, just like I said against Texas A&M, it's going to be knockdown, drag-out fight. Mario Cristobal wants it that way anyway. I think this is a game that's won and lost in the trenches. Plus 9.5, just a little too rich for my blood. I think Miami keeps this, definitely keeps it to a one-score game.
We agree. We're back in those symbiotic vibes there, B. 2 words for you. Carson Beck. I am not only not a fan of his, but I just don't think that he is that type of guy that you want to rest your playoff goal. I mean, aspirations on that. I mean, he's an upgrade from Miami, but now you again weight class. You got to come out of the ACC. Now you got to play a Big Ten team. Ohio State is the biggest of Big Ten teams, and Miami. I don't know about that, dog. I mean, 9.5 is a stretch. I would probably push away from it if I had to. I would just because of the size of that line. I kind of like the under in this game a little bit more than I like the spread. But I tell you one thing: if a water gun to my head, I would rather take Ohio plus the points than I would Miami on the points.
Ohio minus the points, you mean?
No, plus the points. I would rather take Miami. I would rather take Ohio State to win by 10 than Miami to keep it within 10. So I agree with you there, B. I agree.
I took Miami. 100%.
No.
I think Miami has a better offensive line and defensive line. I think this is going to be a 4-point game.
No.
That's the way I see it.
Starting off. We are really at odds now because I don't like that one. Not at all.
And here's the other thing. I think Miami's going to have the lead in the second half of this game.
Wow.
I think the difference in the game is going to be. I trust, game breaking from Ohio State to make a big play from a wide receiver there, Jeremiah Smith or Cardell Tate. I expect one of them to make a big play and jump back in front of Miami, but I think Miami keeps it close, man. If you watch Miami all year, they had a couple of duds right in the middle of the season, but all year they've had the best defensive line, offensive line combo that I've seen in college football.
I agree about the offensive line. The offensive line, I give you that.
The defensive line wreaked havoc against Texas A&M.
True. Again, this is weight classes.
Look what Indiana did. Indiana's in Miami's weight class on defensive line. The guy that got 2.5 or 3 sacks against is it Curry? I don't remember. I'm drawing a blank from Indiana. The kind of a bigger defensive end. He's projected at like a 6th or 7th round draft choice. Bain's top 5 draft choice. I mean, he's going to give those guys problems, man.
All right. Okay. All right. So we already talked about the Cotton Bowl. Where should we go next? Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl? You pick. Let's see if we can have some type of agreement somewhere.
Now, here's the thing. If you just want to pick all 4 of these, I'm going to tell you right now, I think Texas Tech gets the upset here against Oregon. I like them at plus 2.5.
Now we're talking, B. I like Texas Tech as well. Now we're talking.
Yeah, Oregon's been a little banged up at wide receiver. I just feel like Texas Tech has the deeper team and the better athletes this year. Now, both teams are very well coached. It's going to be a close game.
We've talked before. Well, at least I think we've said it a few times this season. This is not a traditional Oregon squad as far as like high scoring offense. They have struggled to move the ball against any type of good defenses, and Texas Tech is one of them good defenses. They've got the best rushing defense in the nation. I don't know if it's duck hunting season down there in Florida, but it might be for Texas Tech. Texas Tech is going to have their way with the Quackers. I agree with you there. You can go ahead and throw it out on the slip.
Texas Tech is another one of those teams when you talk about defensive lines. Mm-hmm. Stout, very stout defensive line. And here we go. Since we're looking at the 4th one, we might as well take a stab at all of them here, man. Alabama and Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Man, it's been a long time since Indiana's been there. But I will say I like Cignetti in this matchup. Something tells me to stay away from this line at minus 6.5. But if I was going to bet it, I'd bet Indiana. I'd like Indiana at minus 5.
I also like Indiana minus 5. 6.5 is, I feel it's fair. I think the best version of Alabama is a few months away, right? I think after Halloween, Alabama hasn't been their best version of themselves, and Indiana is still their best version of themselves. I think Indiana's the best team in the nation. I think that. You already talked about, you cited Indiana beating Ohio State and with guys that probably won't get drafted in the NFL. I just think Signetics is in a class of his own right now as far as game script, motivation, and all these other things. You saw his old team, James Madison, they're still doing stuff.
And leading the league in mojo.
Oh, yeah. Christian mojo at that. Yeah. Tim Tebow's favorite squad right now.
All right, so we both agree on Indiana. I mean, do we want to put it on the slip? Because I know we talked about it before we came backstage. It's a little light week for us. Do you want to put it on there and argue it out?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, we can do that. And then and that's it for college. But like we said, we're not going to get into it. We're not going to push it. We're not going to try and bet things where we don't know who's playing, who's not, all those kind of things. Now, I will say this, Quiet Father back in the building, he says Buckeyes are going to slap Miami. We'll see. I mean, I heard a lot of how they're going to slap around Indiana too. So,
fair.
I don't know. They got to be better in the trenches. That is show. That's all I know about that. But yeah, that's the college football slate that we're going to cover for today. So we're going to take a quick break here. If you have not yet, please like, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, share us, tell a friend to tell a friend where you get your gambling picks here on football, and we will be right back after these messages. We are back here with Pater. I love it when they tickle the ivory there in our music, man. I'm not gonna lie. Gets me going. Gets me, my thumbs start tickling the keys on my DraftKings account when that happens. It just seems to go naturally. We already got our college football picks in, right? So let's go over here and not the NHL, the NFL, and an interesting slate this week. Several injuries last week. Several people are Cancun bound, so they're packing it up. So it's a little bit lighter than what I like. I don't want to get into this Chiefs plus 13.5 game when I can't pronounce the quarterback's name. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what's going on there. That's to me, that Broncos Chiefs game has a classic. The Broncos are in a better situation. The Broncos are going to win that game. But what they're going to do is they're going to get out to a 24-point lead, and then they're going to pull some starters, and then all of a sudden you got a backdoor cover. I can't stand that.
Don't need that. As far as traditional games where you can kind of feel like the teams are going to play up to their potential, it's the middle game. Detroit versus the Vikings. Everything else, the Dallas Cowboys were not playing for anything. Washington's playing for draft position. They are already pulled Jaden Daniels for the rest of the season. I agree with you about Kansas City is going to be on their fourth quarterback. The Broncos, all they got to do is sew up a number one spot. That's all they're doing. They're going to take it easy for the most part. The Chiefs they're done. They're in Cancun.
We got Josh Jacobs playing for the Commanders this week. We got a lot of weird stuff going on. The Vikings also are on third string right now.
Shout out to Nine.
So what do you think? Nine's got a hairline fracture in his throwing hand. So do you think the Lions here? I mean, they're on their deathbed as far as the playoffs go. They definitely have to win this one. Do you see them covering -7.5?
I do see the Lions covering 7.5. I would trend to say the Lions win by 9-ish in that area. The Lions, again, they gotta win to stay alive. The Vikings offense has been bad. I think if that's the word. I mean, can I say that? They're going to be playing with Max Brosmer again.
That's it.
Usually, it doesn't even matter who the quarterback's been for them. Their offense has just been bad. The quarterback play has been bad for the Vikings all season. I am more confident that the Lions can win this game by more than a score. Now, and Gibbs hasn't shown up the last 2 weeks, so
he's due.
Maybe I would, fantasy. I would. I'm trending in that direction. I would think that could happen. But because you did mention it, the Christmas games are kind of fugazi. It might be a year to go back to watching the NBA for Christmas, or maybe spending time with your family, if you want to do that.
I'll have my gamble like Campbell's shirt on. I'll be a multi-unit bet on this Lions over Minnesota Vikings. I watched this Minnesota Vikings team last week. JJ gets hurt, and they had a matchup against the New York Giants that should have been perfect for them trying to get their run game going. And Aaron Jones, to his credit, came out and kind of drugged that team to a win. But he's not healthy by any stretch of the imagination. The Detroit Lions are a team that have played pretty well against the run up until last week, and I think it was a little bit of a game planning thing where I think they expected them to pass the ball a little heavier than they did. The passing yardage is where Detroit's been giving up a lot of plays, but you accompany that with strength on strength. I like the Lions here. You go to the other side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball for the Lions against the Brian Flores defense. This is one of those things where I just don't see, them being surprised. The Lions, I don't think are going to be surprised by Brian Flores. They know his tendencies and how he drops everybody back and all those kind of things. So I think this is I got him at a 14-point win here.
I mean, I can go with that. I don't see any reason why not to believe that. Tim Lyons in the comments says, don't forget the Vikings haven't allowed an offensive touchdown in 6 or 7 weeks. Yeah, and they've only won 3 of those games. Yeah, so
and played nobody.
Yeah, all right. Now, you did say something in these Christmas Day games that you can imagine the Broncos get up early and then allow the Chiefs to backdoor cover, even with their 4th string quarterback. There is a game being played on Week 17, but I don't think that's going to happen. I do think there is a game where there's a big favorite can cover their big number, and they will not be in danger of a backdoor cover. That is the New England Patriots host against the New York Jets. The Patriots are a 13.5 fave, if I'm reading this, if nothing has changed. Yes.
13.5, 2.5 over under.
Now, the Jets, everything I said about the Vikings offense, throw it out the window. The Jets have actually the worst offense I've seen all season. They are down to their 3rd quarterback as well. Tyrod Taylor's not playing. Justin Fields is on IR. They got some dude in there, and I do mean that literally some dude playing quarterback. The New England Patriots, they have something to play for. They were sitting at the number 1 for a while, and then they got brought back to reality, having their winning streak snapped by the Buffalo Bills. They have to, 1, reestablish dominance in that division, and 2, try to get back in the number 1 spot of the AFC North to have all the playoff games in that conference go through Foxborough. They're going to dominate the New York Jets, as they have been doing for the last 20 years. B, you agree?
I like it. I do. I think this is a get-back game for them for sure. It's get right. It's a get right game. It's all it is, and yeah, I can get down with that one.
Oh yeah. You got another one. You got anything else?
On this particular sheet that we have up here, I've got one that I really like in this 1 o'clock window. I hit on it last week. Plan on trying to hit on it again. Fade the Colts. Been a great plan for me. So we got the Jags at the Colts. The Jaguars are -6.5, playing great football. The Colts defense hasn't looked great. The Colts offense has not looked great. The Jaguars have been fantastic against the run. So I really like them to cover this -6.5. Pretty simple.
I am with you there. I got the Jaguars to win outright, cover the 6.5, put the Colts to bed early. Grandpa Rivers, go ahead and get that. What do they call those early dinners?
The early bird special.
Go ahead and get that early bird special. Take you a little nappy nap, because this game is going to be over early. And you know what else I like about this game? I like the total. I like the over in this game as well. I like this game a lot. The Jaguars are going to hand. Jaguars are established.
Do you like the over enough to put it on a same game parlay, kick it out of our bets?
Ooh.
I want to keep that 6.5 in the bet. I think it's one of our best bets so far.
I'll just keep that. I'll just put that out there for consumption.
Okay.
I like the over. I like the Jaguars to win, and I like the Jaguars to cover, obviously. But for the sake of this show, give me 6.5. What you be? We are locked in there.
All right. Where you want to go next?
Another team that's fighting for their lives. You see a thread here, a common thread. Team you want to play with. You want to bet on teams that actually have something to play for. The Dolphins are not playing for anything tangible as it relates to this season, but they are playing for who's going to be on the team next season. Word out of camp is that McNerd boy, Josh, their coach, is pretty safe, and he wants to find out if his quarterback has enough convict in him, or I think he meant conviction, and that's going to be Quentin Ewers, as Tua has been benched, pretty much ending his tenure in Miami. Who are they playing? In-state rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who find themselves now out of the playoffs after they dropped the game to the Carolina Panthers. How about that? Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to win to keep their playoff hopes alive, and Miami is trying to figure out what they got going forward. This is the type of game you really actually want to risk some money on. I like Tampa Bay to cover this game, actually. Miami doesn't need to win for them to be happy with the outcome of this game, but Tampa Bay needs to win. The line in this game is
-5.5, over under is 45.5.
There you go. 5.5 should be good enough. There's some things I do like about Miami. The running game, Devon Achane has been pretty fantastic this season. Defense, not so much. Tampa Bay is still trying to get back to their early season mojo on offense. And Miami, it's the right type of jump off point for that to happen. I like Baker. I like Ibeka. I like Godwin. I like Mike Evans coming back to life. And it's time for Bucky Irvin to wake back up. This is the perfect opportunity for that. Give me Tampa Bay 5.5.
All right. I like it. I'm going to go over here to my Cincinnati Bengals are hosting the Arizona Cardinals at 1 o'clock as well. Now, this dropped at 7. I put a bet in at 7. At -7.5, I still think they cover, but I'm not as confident on it. But you know what I really like? It's going to be 61 and sunny. The Arizona Cardinals have benched their Kyler Murray as well, and have Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett in 10 starts is averaging 292 yards passing per game. They have the best tight end in the game right now with Trey McBride. And I don't know if you're aware of this, the Cincinnati Bengals pretty terrible about covering tight ends. I like his prop bets, but more importantly, I like the over in this one. Over 52.5. I picked this on Running Through the Jungle to be 41-31 Cincinnati Bengals win. What do you think about that?
I do have that prop bet stashed away on the side there. We wasn't really talking prop bets. I did have another one in that Denver Broncos game. RJ Harvey over 2.5 receptions. I like that as well. But back to this game. What interests me about this game, both teams, their playoff hopes are done, right? So it does go against the narrative of what we're trying to craft for today's episode. However, it does not go against the part that they need. There's something that they have to play for. Right now, the Bengals are playing for the heart.
Well, you saw what
Joe
they
Burrow
did last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
They threw 40 up last week, 45.
Mm-hmm. They're playing, like I said, they're playing for the heart of Joe Burrow. They're playing for Joe Burrow's happiness. And what makes Joe Burrow happy other than, Batmobiles and good-looking women and all the riz his massive contract can buy? Winning football games. So let's go out there and win a football game for old Joey B. I like the Bengals to go ahead and also cover this game. Arizona Cardinals, they can get all the garbage jars they want. That's cool. I like the cover as well.
All right. We got it. All right. You got anything else on the slate?
The last thing I had here that I was very confident about is the Los Angeles Rams. Still trying to tie up that number 1 spot after they dropped the game to the Seattle Seahawks last week. They are now sitting in number 3 of the NFC playoff picture. They got the Atlanta Falcons, another terrible franchise. Shout out to Home Depot, though. I like the Rams to go ahead and win this game. The line for this game is
7.5. Rams are favored by 7.5. Over under 49.5. I was looking. That's when I went back and forth there. So we just had another 7.5 point spread, right? And it was the Cincinnati Bengals. But the Cincinnati Bengals money line is minus 380. The Rams money line is minus 470. Probably makes them more likely to cover this number too.
I agree. The weather in Atlanta is pretty decent right now. Not that bad. But it could be better. And that's why all their players are mentally thinking about Mexico right now. LA Rams cover the 7.5.
All right. I like it. We'll put that guy in here. That gives us 11. But we do have a same game parlay staring at us right here. So once we nix the same game parlay, we are at 9. Nino Brown. Now, if we wanted to do the probably the better of the two things here, I would say we nix the two that we disagreed on.
Obviously.
Right off the rip. So we take Georgia out. We take Miami out. That leaves us Texas Tech, Indiana. The Lions minus 7.5. The Patriots minus 13.5. The Jags minus 6.5. The Bucks minus 5.5. The Rams minus 7.5. Your thoughts? I mean, normally I would immediately go like, okay, minus 13.5. If we're going to mitigate, risk or whatever, you start looking at the big spread first. But it's the Jets, so I don't know if that's applicable.
So, in my opinion, the riskiest thing we have on our slips is the Christmas Day game. The Lions and the Vikings. Okay. That's me. That's the way I see it. Now
I can get down with that because I don't love the hook. It is a divisional rival, so they tend to be closer than most other games. I can get down with that, man. All right. This might be the easiest we've ever shaped it down to 6. So for the folks at home, that gives us Texas Tech plus 2.5 against Oregon. That gives us Indiana minus 6.5 against Bama. Then we have the Patriots minus 13.5 at the Jets. We have the Jaguars minus 6.5 at the Colts. We have the Bucks minus 5.5 at the Dolphins. And we got the Rams minus 7.5 at the Falcons. This reminds me of a few weeks ago, separate from this game, but once I got into it, or from the show, but once I got into it, I sent you a parlay and I ended up hitting, and it was, I think, 4 or 5 home like dogs that I bet against. It kind of reminds me of that.
Well, you know what? Lightning does strike twice, B.
Oh, it's been striking for me. I'm not going to complain about this year. Not going to complain about this year, but I like your prop bet, by the way. I wrote down RJ Harvey +2 over 2 catches. I like that.
I mean, I think that's money in the bank. But B, that's it for me. I do like this bet, this parlay slip. Putting that in, we need to recoup some of this money all these ungrateful kids stole from me this holiday season.
Tim Lyons, are you not entertained? He says, hit that damn like button. Does Pay Dirt not entertain you? Austin's Art, appreciate you rocking in here with us. Yeah, we'll be watching a little bit of basketball too. Be watching a little bit of basketball. Could be a nice little run there. Afton, appreciate you rocking with us as always. She had to run. Happy holidays, which is a good segue. We will be back on Friday for the homies. I'm trying to get it pushed back a little bit. I haven't heard yes or no. If you look in the text thread, I asked to go at 9:00 instead of 8.
I'm with that. That's 2 votes.
I have some things that was just 2/3.
2 votes. That's all you need.
So that's one of the things I'd like to go around 9:00 because I do have another family function here to take care of. But yeah, so we might be a little bit late on Friday. We'll definitely be in here rocking with the homies. We all had above 500 picks again last week, so pretty good week. But we'll get into that on Friday. Anything else you want to say on the way out of here, Pay?
That's it for me. Happy holidays. Drink some. If you are a boozy nog person, have a shot for me. Have a shot for me as well. I am about to go get into some Grinch activities. Maybe not actually in the Grinch, in the spirit of the Grinch, but I'm going to wear some green. I'm going to take some green out of my pocket and enjoy some of that. B, Mama B Dirt, and everybody else, Jess and the rest, I hope you all enjoy dinner and blame my co-hosts.
Yes,
not the other ones.
Hey, for sure, happy holidays to you and yours as well, Pay, and everybody else out there. However you celebrate, just make sure you do it with the friends and family that are important to you. It's always, that's the part that doesn't get lost on me. The older I get, the fewer people are around and the more important it is for me. So appreciate people while they're here. For Pay and myself, we wish you guys a happy holidays. However you celebrate, make it memorable, and hit us back here next week as we reach Pay Dirt.